Greetings in the name of Yahuwah and his son Yahushua HaMashiach. My name is Malak Shalomo. Today is the 27th of December 2023. I'm going to do a trade setup on the ES for the 28th, which is tomorrow. Right now it's 7:34 p.m. Eastern Time. So let's jump into this here. Right now I'm looking at the 1 hour chart, trying to do a little Wycoff theory levels on this here. We have the buying climax here at approximately 48.3450. We have an automatic reaction here at 48.2275. Some consolidation here. We had like a thermal shake. Well, this is kind of setting up like if it's a distribution like phase, you know what I'm saying, or this distribution kind of range, but it's not really distributing, right? It's aiming to go higher. Right now it could uptrust and then come back in and be a distribution phase, but as far as we're seeing it right now, it's turning into like reaccumulation, right? So the labels won't be as exact as if like in like a reversal down at the bottom you would get certain levels or certain structures would be kind of uniformed, right? In this distribution structure, it's not very uniform to give proper labels, right? But I'm new to the Wycoff theory and stuff, so I may not be able to label it as properly as an expert one would, right? But the labels aren't really important. Is direction and understanding what's going on. That's the most important part, right? So if we're looking at this here as, let's say it's started off as a distribution with the buying climax, we have the automatic reaction here, but then we're turning into something like a reaccumulation. So we're getting something like a preliminary stop, and I guess this would be the automatic rally, and then this would be like the secondary stop, and then we would start moving up into like, let's say phase B, right, where we would get this movement higher and probably a little uptrust, and we're supposed to come back into the range, right, for phase B. So it's supposed to be volatile, where we get this move off of like a secondary test here, push up, probably test the outside of the range, get like a uptrust, and kind of move back in. I'm not really sure about the move back in though. This is looking like the Santa rally is going to continue into the end of the year and probably get some bullish movement out of here. So either way you look at it, whether it's a thermal shake for like a uptrust in a reaccumulation, or if it's a distribution and going to get a uptrust, the same action is probably going to take place. If we fail on the breakout, then we're going to come back in here, right? So just got to be mindful of any failures or any upsets in the market, right? Because I know everybody is bullish and stuff like that. So when the market gets one-sided, usually they run stops and upset some players. So right here we have on, what day is this? I believe this is Thursday here. Let me just double check that. Right, so on Thursday we started this uptrend from like a automatic reaction here on the 1 hour chart. We came back to this level, and since then we've had 4 days of uptrend, right, on the 5-minute chart. So that was that big bullish candle I was referring to on the 1 hour chart. So we have this 4-day run up. Now, looking at the characteristics of this run up here, we're having something like this, where we're getting this bullish run up during the day and like a sell off in the afternoon. This one came back up like in just before we closed, I believe. Let me see, what time was that? So we're getting some shakeouts here like around 12 o'clock. We came back up bullish to end the day. right? Now here we had the selling off here from around 130, came back down, and we ended the day kind of in the middle of the range here, right? Now let's see here. Right, on this day, which was Tuesday, we had the cleanest run up we had so far, I would say. The retracement wasn't that big at all. Retracement started around 15:25, which is 3:25 Eastern time. We came back down here and we had like a little push up into the close. So we had a retracement as well, not as deep as those prior retracements. So today we had basically like a ranging day. It had like a big close, I guess, with this bullish candle, and we ended up closing on the highs, right? But during the day, since like around, well, actually the whole thing, it was basically ranging from, in the ETH, we were ranging from 48.30 to basically 48.21, and then we kind of expanded the range as we opened. Just make that bigger. Right, so we just expanded the range, moved up and down, and then we closed on the highs, right? So now today, since today wasn't really a trend day, it was a ranging day, we could probably look to expect maybe another trend day. Um, After a trend day like this, right, the sideways movement was to be expected. That's something I should have taken note of, given how it was transpiring in the ETH. So I should have taken note of that. Let's see here. So after this ranging day, closing on the highs, let's see what kind of setup we're looking at on the central pivots, right? So we have a higher value relationship on the central pivots. Yesterday's central pivot was here. Today's central pivot is above the range. This is the top central pivot here. So this is the bottom central pivot of today, which is at 48.2650. Central pivot is at 48.2883. Top central is at 48.3117. Right? So it's a higher value relationship, and plus we opened above the range, and we opened at roughly 48.3450 in the ETH. So yesterday's high is right there. We already attacked yesterday's high. We already clipped that, right? So this is opening bullish. It's actually ranging. It's not really moving in a trending kind of way. It's ranging but still moving to the upside, right? So with the central pivot thesis and the floor pivot thesis, we're supposed, if we don't touch this at the open of the RTH, the central pivot range, we're supposed to definitely get R1, and these levels are kind of close to where price action is opening, so possibly R2 48.4650. If we do get like a big trend day, let's see what kind of range we're looking at from the open here in the ETH to R3. We're looking at, it's only 17 points, right? So we could probably get like a big trend day tomorrow, possibly even to R4, right? Which is going to be 21.75 points. So that's very achievable. We could actually run the whole floor pivot. The whole floor pivot range is only 21.75 points, right? So any signs of bullishness or looking for like a long setup to me would be from like the central, a retest of the central pivot range. Let's say around this level here to, let's see, risking 4 points, and we could possibly definitely get, if we get a retest of the central pivot range, the central pivot, We could get that 12 points to R1, possibly to R2, 17.50, 70.50 points, and R3, 22.50 points. And if it's a trend day, then R4 is going to be 27.50 points. So this is a long setup here with an entry at central pivot, right? So we just leave that right there for now. All right, so if we're looking at the money zone, or the market profile, I should say, this is in a higher value relationship where value area low is at, let's see, let's make this a little bigger, 48, 22, 21. That white line right there, that's value area low. Right, it's above previous day's value area high, which was roughly 48, 16, 50. Right, which is that purple line right there. So we have a higher value relationship and we're opening above the value area high, which is indicative of trend day as well. So let's see, let's line up the pivots with this. So you can see here that this is creating what we call a golden pivot zone. So anywhere around here is like a good buy, right? So the central pivot and the value area high is in in close proximity. So any touches or retests, like even if it pushes below the central pivot, gets to the value area high, even just below, for like a little shakeout, we could still get that bullish run right there. So anything around this level, reverse patterns, I'm looking to go long, right? So let me just label that right there. All right, so that's a golden pivot zone right there with the central pivots and the market profile. So looking at the Camarillas as well, you can see Camarilla S3 is landing in the central, the golden pivot zone as well. Camarilla S3 is in a, let's see here, it's in an overlapping higher value relationship. Camarilla S3 is now at 48.28. Previous day's Camarilla R3 was at 48.34.75, so it's still lower than Camarilla R3 of the previous day. So it's an overlapping higher value relationship where Camarilla R3 is now moving up to 48.39. So any retest of this level here, let's see, if we put the money zone back on the central pivot, so you can see that's a strong support level right there. That's value area high, Camarilla S3, and the central pivot range, right? So any retest of this level is a long for me. Now, if we get bullish during the ETH, any break above Camarilla R3 and break retest reversal patterns above that level is a long entry for me as well. So probably catch that to like maybe R2, R3, or probably Camarilla R5, right? So that's looking like a 11.50 points. And that's another setup there. So if we don't come back and test this golden pivot zone, we could get like a breakout of Camarilla R3. It's in a moderately bullish configuration, so we could get that push up from there. And let's see here. And likewise, if it starts failing at this area here, we could get like a reversal, but I don't think I'm looking for any shorts. I'm not gonna look for any shorts. Even if it reverses, I'm still gonna wait for it to come back down here to the golden pivot zone to catch like a reversal. So even if we do get like reversals here at R1, Camarilla R3, I'm not gonna take any of those shorts, right? Because this market is too bullish to really look for shorts. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna really go against the trend. Trying to implement some discipline and just take trades that are more probable than others, right? So sticking to the trend and all that. So that's basically the setups right there. And any of these levels here, like above R1, if price is opening in the RTH above R1, same principle. If we get some breakouts, retests, go long from R1 to go to R3, R4, something like that. All right, so basically looking for longs at these levels here. And that's basically my setup. Not really looking for any shorts. Today, let's see. I made a mistake here where I was supposed to buy at this level right here at the open. And I actually said it in my trading video. Let me just go take this down to the 1 minute. I actually said this in my trade setup video where I'm looking for, is this the open here? Where's the open? Where's the open? Right, this is it here. Right. And I said clearly in my trade setup video that I'm looking for buys around this area. And when price was in the ETH coming down to this level here, looking really weak, I got influenced by price movement. So we had this push up here and we failed. And then I took this short on this breakdown of this top central pivot here. And basically, I was just trying to catch the momentum of the price back down to like value area high, but that wasn't the setup. The setup actually played out where I was looking for buys at the central pivot range, right? Which is this level here at 48.20. So if I saw this price come down to this level, push back up and create this doji candle, I was supposed to go long right here at this level. As soon as this other candle opens and I have 2 points risk, could have even did 3 points and just try to take it to as high as it could, right? I guess I could have even stopped out here when it started to pull back, or just held on to the trade because it's showing a reversal pattern here. Let me just make this a little bigger. It's showing somewhat of a reversal pattern here, but I could have held on to that, let it maneuver around, pull back and forth, and eventually using the VWAPs, right? I could have taken off the trade probably somewhere around here, right? So this could have gone up to like, as we break this upper VWAP band, I could have caught at least probably like 5.25 points on this trade. And that was basically the trade I was supposed to take, but I got led by price action and I didn't take that trade. So I kind of got chopped up today and stuff, trying to follow this trading range there and just wasting my time. So I have to exercise that discipline tomorrow. I'm not looking for any shorts. I'm looking for longs. We closed on a high. We opened above the central pivot range. We have a golden pivot zone below us. Even if price comes down to this level, this is a strong buy area. So looking for buys at this level, or if we stay higher, take these buys here at Camarilla R3 and R1. And that's my setups for tomorrow. All right, y'all. So it's Malak Shalomo. Y'all trade safe and stay. Oh, wait. Let me just show you some here on Bookmap. So this is Trader Map Pro. We have here in the ETH targets of liquidity at 48.41 and support at 48.33. So let's just go back over here. So where is 48.41? That's Camarilla R1. I mean, floor pivot R1, right? So if we do come back to actually, I think they just dropped support right here. So you could actually see I just said 48.33 was support, so they moved it down to 48.31. So that would be somewhere 48. 31 is actually the top central pivot. So we may be looking at a retest of the central pivot area and the golden pivot zone in in comparison to where the liquidity is pushing back down to, right? So let's see what happens tomorrow. All right, y'all. So it's Malak Shalomo. Y'all trade safe and stay blessed.